Hey, what's up, YouTube world? It's your girl, the Venusian Bull, and I am continuing the Scorpio video in part 3. It wasn't meant to actually be a part 3, but I ran out of space on my computer, so it just kind of cut off on me. So here I am, and I should be finishing this video very soon. So I just want to pick up right where I left off. So Scorpio deals with debts, bankruptcy, taxes, levies, and liens. So kind of in reference to other people's money, yes, they can garner other people's money through inheritances and insurance and settlements and things like that. But they can also be, the ones that are being called by debt collectors, filing for bankruptcy. So that's like another form of other people's money. You owing other people, you owing debts and things like that, taxes and whatnot. Scorpio is kind of like the Omen, dressed in all black, like the Omen. Hey, on the darkest manifestation. So I think about the movie, The Omen, because Scorpio represents death. So I think about how like the presence of just that little kid caused these people death. I even think about Final Destination when it comes to Scorpio. If you ever seen any of the 17 movies of Final Destination, I think they on Final Destination 15 now. But yes, it's like death always finds them. So they try to find a way to cheat death, but then death always ends up finding them. So that's kind of like Scorpio energy, honestly. They can be often misunderstood because of the protective walls that they put up, as I've already mentioned. Difficult for them to let you in. They're strategic and calculating. While they're a very sexual sign, their sexuality can be repressed in some instances, depending on how, your Scorpio planets are being aspected in your chart or what house it falls in and things like that. You might have been that, virgin until you got married or whatever the case may be. It just all depends on where your Scorpio energy lies. So it can be twofold: extremely sexual people, or your sexuality could be repressed. And that could even be like, your sexual orientation. You could be repressing that, hiding what's beneath the surface type of thing. And that could also go into the whole transgender thing as well. It can coincide like that. They can be very religious or spiritual. So think motivational speaker, supportive, that type of deal. But Scorpios, while they are very dark, they can be very into the church. Like they can definitely be those people always there every single Sunday. So that's that. But in the spiritual aspect, they can also be very spiritual. And the light manifestations, they're using their spirituality for good. I mentioned that they can like funerals and stuff like that. They are definitely far from being boring, and they're definitely not stupid. I will say your life will be forever changed by being in the presence of a Scorpio, either for better or for worse. Again, lighter manifestation. But a Scorpio in any event, I would say for the better, just because you will learn something about yourself. You will either learn who to fuck with or not to fuck with. And you'll probably gain a deeper meaning of life dealing with a Scorpio, or talking to a Scorpio, or anything like that, interacting with a Scorpio. So I wanted to actually mention a major transit that's going on. So Jupiter is in Scorpio right now, and it will be until around November of this year. And Jupiter, the planet Jupiter, has to deal with expansion, excess, growth, the truth, things of that nature. So with Jupiter in Scorpio right now, this is a lot of the reason why a lot of these male public figures, prominent public figures, are being exposed for their sexual misconduct and harassment, abuse, rape. All of that is being exposed. Emphasis on sexual, because Scorpio has to deal with sex, right? So what was once beneath the surface is now coming to light because of Jupiter, because Jupiter is about the truth. And Jupiter is also about expansion and things that expand. So whatever was hidden, it is now going to come to the light. You know what I'm saying? So so it's exposing people for who they really are. That's kind of the Jupiter and Scorpio. It's kind of a blessing and a curse, but I feel like in this instance it's a blessing, because we're seeing who all of these perverts are, who probably a lot of people knew that these people were perverts and stuff like that, but weren't able to come out. And this Jupiter and Scorpio transit is really allowing this to come out. And when Jupiter goes in Sag, it's home where it rules. Oh, all the truths are about to come out. Like everything, just everything. Because Jupiter, Sagittarius wants justice and they want it now. Okay? So I mentioned the occult sciences earlier, where they could be interested in astrology and tarot and numerology and other forms of metaphysical practices, but they also could be very interested in mediumship. And they can have the ability to be able to speak to the dead, people with Scorpio energy, even like talking to the ancestors and things like that. It's like it's that deep for Scorpios. So yeah. Scorpios can also deal with demons or having demons attached to you. Remember, Scorpio absorbs energy of people, things, and spirits. So I'm just, putting that out there. Paranormal activity could be a big thing with Scorpio, especially if you have like a lot of planets like in the 12th house. You could really be prone to that paranormal activity type shit. Scorpios are uber passionate people. The connections that they make with people need to be on a soul level, or else they don't feel like it's necessary, like it's not worth it unless my soul is connected to it. Scorpio also has to deal with prominence, and that has to deal with the Pluto aspect. So people with prominent Scorpio energy are prone to be prominent in life. So that's a very big thing for Scorpio energy to have. Now, Scorpios, because they're so paranoid, they do seek out drama, or drama just tends to find them wherever they go. They're prone to make mountains out of molehills because of their paranoia. And remember the intensity aspect. Everything, is so intense for Scorpios. They kind of need to be on the verge of something at all times, almost on the edge. Like, it's ironically when they feel most alive. Remember when I mentioned on the edge, close to that orgasm? That's kind of how they need to feel about life. That's why they can't live a normal life. They can't live an ordinary life. And, who wants to be ordinary anyway? But for Scorpios, it's kind of to the extreme where it's like they want to create problems so that they can fix them. Like, it's like, you remember how like Virgo always wants to help and they, want to fix problems? Like Scorpio kind of takes that to the next level. Okay. I think that Olivia Pope has some Scorpio energy, as well as Annalise Keating. TGIT. I know Scorpio. I said Scorpio. I know Scandal is over, but How to Get Away with Murder gonna be coming back soon. Hey, that's a very Scorpionic show too. How to Get Away with Murder, like criminal. Like, come on. Oh, and I just wanted to mention this, and this is why like Scorpios and Virgos are so like similar to each other. So, right. A Scorpio kind of low-key needs a Virgo in their corner to clean up the mess. Because, every Scorpionic criminal needs like a huck to, clean up and make it squeaky clean and stuff like that. Who's the dude on How to Get Away with Murder? Oh, the dude with the beard. White dude with the beard. Yes, him. He's the cleanup guy. On Power, they be having cleanup guys. So that's kind of what Virgo likes to do. That's why Virgo can kind of get down with the criminality, even though they're not too keen with it. They just got to be working with somebody who knows what they're doing. They can't be doing that shit on their own. But anyway, that's a side note. So like I mentioned before, they're very private people, none of your business type of people. It's not about them being secretive. It's about shit is none of your business and I don't have to tell you that. Like, that's, to me, the way Scorpio kind of operates. And I do have to mention, and I've been mentioning this in a lot of my videos, but it's a way for you guys to understand, basically not to focus just on someone's sun sign and understand the different energies in people's charts. Beyonce happens to have a Scorpio moon, and she exhibits a lot of Scorpionic, traits. Just look at how she just oozes sex, like, and is a very, sexual, person without really having to try that hard. And that's just the surface level. That's just tipping the scales. She has all the Libra energies tipping the scales, pun intended. of the scorpionic energy that I pick up on her. So I will get more into that when I actually do a video on Beyonce. And yes, it is coming for Virgo season. Also, I mentioned that Janet Jackson is a Scorpio rising as well. So that's very important. So just all of y'all people who thought like Beyonce was boring and that she has no personality, she has a Scorpio moon. So like I mentioned before, Scorpio energy does not live a normal life. They're not about the ordinary. They're about the extraordinary, and they're most certainly not boring, and they're most certainly not stupid. So, you know, she has her wall up. Just be clear on that. Understand that. But know that she is a Scorpio moon. Just know that. And listen to all of the things that I just mentioned about Scorpios and see if you still think that she's boring and dull. That's all I got to say about that. So Scorpio energy is more interested in like shortcuts and like backdoor types of methods of accomplishing tasks and goals. They're not going through the straight path like a Taurus would. They're like, let me see if I can cut corners. Let me go through the back alley and kind of see, let me duck and dodge and weave and all of this type of stuff because, you know, they don't have time for all of that. Well, they do have time. Let me take that back. They're strategic at planning, but because they want to uncover what's beneath the surface, what's beneath the surface means they may be finding shortcuts to things and how to get away with things and, you know, how to accomplish things without having to do all of the steps. That is it for all of my characteristics of a Scorpio. I am so glad if you guys were able to stick with me through all 3 of these videos. I just want to mention a couple of celebrities. Kris Jenner. Bruce, Caitlyn Jenner, and I'm not being insensitive by still calling him Bruce, even though he's transitioned into a woman as Caitlyn Jenner. I wanted to emphasize the transformation aspect, and this is an example of a transgender person, obviously, that has Scorpio energy. So I just wanted to point that out. Sierra, Adrienne Bailon, who's on The Real, who goes by, I guess, Adrienne Houghton. I wish she would have kept her maiden name, to be truthfully honest. I like Bailon. It's indicative of her heritage and her personality, but, you know, whatever. Drake, P. Diddy, and I mentioned earlier Dorothy Dandridge. And there are so many other Scorpios that are in entertainment and things like that. But, you know, I can only name but so many. So once again, I hope that you enjoyed my Scorpio video. I hope that I was mysterious enough for you. And I feel like I talked a lot about Scorpio, but I still, like, didn't give everything away. Okay. And in honor of me discussing Scorpio, I just would like to show that I bought my very first tarot deck. It's the Rider-Waite Tarot deck. So I'm gonna be learning tarot, be doing tarot up on your hoes and stuff like that. I'm not doing that voodoo type shit. I'm not trying to be malicious with my stuff and everything like that. It's just another metaphysical practice. And, you know, I have a Pisces North Node, Scorpio rising, Mars and Chiron in the 8th. I'm into this shit. Okay, so that's just what I do. But until next time, we're going to go a little bit lighter in the next video, and we're going to be talking about Sag. Yes, Sagittarius. So get ready for that video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.